All right. Welcome back to the channel. Surprise, surprise. Gervonta Davis's team speaks out and talks about Gervonta Davis, Rayo Valensuela, and rehydration clauses. I'm going to tell you ahead of time, this is another example of YouTube boxing channels lying flat out to hurt Gervonta Davis's reputation and to build up another fighter's reputation, period. Because there was nothing ever out there that should have made people believe the story that they were running around with. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135, 140 pound division, where this week, because boxing has been slow, and last week, because boxing has been slow, and the week before that, because boxing has been slow, people have been just making things up to make the time go by. Kind of like you're a kid sitting in your backyard, bored during the summer, you're sitting there playing with your friends, and you just start making up a bunch of lies about vacations you went on, just to entertain people, I guess, while we wait for real fights or real things to happen. In this particular instance, one of the rumors that was made up out of whole cloth was that Gervonta Davis was in negotiations to fight Rayo Valensuela, and that he was attempting to drag Rayo Valensuela down to 135 and implement rehydration clauses on Rayo Valensuela so that he could cheat Rayo Valensuela. That is the rumor. That's the word that has been going on out there. Now, the reason why I say that you should know that this is not the case is because Rayo Valensuela said that was not the case. Rayo Valensuela said he's not fighting Gervonta Davis because he has a rematch clause with Pitbull Cruz. So he knows full well he's not fighting Gervonta. Now, Leonard Ellerbe comes out and says on Twitter that exactly what I'm saying now, which is that you guys are making up a bunch of stuff just to get views, just to get clicks, and there was never a discussion about fighting Rayo Valensuela because Rayo Valensuela is not available. And there certainly was no conversation about rehydration clauses. That is what Leonard Ellerbe said, who works with Gervonta Davis. So Rayo says there's no negotiations because I can't fight him. I have a rematch clause already set. So I won't be fighting him at 135, at 140, no matter what. Right? And then Leonard Ellerbe comes out and says, hey, man, the same thing. Why anybody would have not known that was the case, I mean, it would have confused me until I realized what I said at the top of this, is that people are just making stuff up. And they're making arguments about Gervonta Davis based off information they know full well has been debunked. But they just keep saying it over and over and over and over again like it's true so that people will eventually just believe it. In my live streams, I do this often. Now, people don't come around anymore. These people don't come around anymore to talk to me like this anymore because we've already debunked all of their thing, all of the nonsense. But now they're off other places spreading this nonsense and obviously being encouraged to do so by people that do not have the best interests of Gervonta Davis or Rayo Valensuela at heart. So this is all a bunch of nonsense. We don't know who Gervonta Davis is going to fight next. But what we do know is that there really isn't anybody available for him to fight that has been talked about, widely in the boxing community. But that doesn't matter. Let's just talk about Gervonta Davis badly anyway. We know that Pitbull Cruz was the world champion and lost to Rayo Valensuela, it wasn't a mandatory fight, and that they were going to try to run it back. But watch this. That could literally come out in the news. It could literally get put out there like it was. The people that are talking this stuff could literally see it, do a video about it, talk about it, hear about it. But when it's time to start talking about whether or not Gervonta Davis is ducking people, they go right back and act like that's true. They just don't care because they are, I guess, now that Devipool is hurt a little bit, that they're looking to say, hey, man, well, we can just keep on attacking Gervonta while we wait for Devin to get back up. I mean, it's hard for me to understand why people would bend reality that much, that often to tear at this guy. If they're not being propped up to do it, by somebody else. It's just silly, man. So the conversations about rehydration clauses, conceding to weight classes, all of that stuff is silly, man. Gervonta Davis is a boxer. He has a weight class. His weight class is 135. Because he fights at the weight class of 135, anybody that wants to fight him has to weigh in less than 135. If you want to do something else, if you want to come in at 139, if you want to fight at 140, then Gervonta Davis has a full right to say, okay, yeah, well, I'll do what you're asking me to do. You want me to fight at 140? No worries, but I need some controls on here. You're not going to be able to, I'm not fighting a middleweight, man. We all know that that's real. We all know that size matters in boxing. But it's like people keep saying with Gervonta, well, he's so good. He's so good. And if you think he's so good, just give these other guys every advantage in the world to beat him. That's what we need to see. If he doesn't fight somebody with one hand tied behind his back and on his knees with blindfolded, he's really not an all-time great. Like, man, I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but to me, that's what the logic of these people sounds like to me. I literally had a discussion with somebody yesterday that said that they thought it was Gervonta Davis's responsibility to move up to 140 because Devin Haney doesn't feel comfortable at 135. When did Gervonta Davis start working for Devin Haney? When did Gervonta Davis start become the manager of Devin Haney, where it's his business or his concern what the troubles of Devin Haney are, or Rayo Valenzuela, or Shakur Stevenson, or Lomachenko, or anybody else? None of these guys are giving up extra inches to other people. They're not doing it. In fact, Devin and guys like T.O. and guys like other guys like that are literally draining themselves down to weight classes they can barely make to get advantages over people. Let alone are they going to do something to make sure that they are disadvantaged? No. Y'all are out here living in their la-la land, man. I was really happy to hear, again, Leonard Ellerby just say, hey, man, nah, bro. Now, if they were actually talking about fighting with Rayo and they had mentioned it and the fight and Ryan and Gervonta said, look, man, let's fight at 140. I'm not fighting at 140. I don't want to fight you at 140. You can fight me 135. Dude, that's Gervonta Davis's priority, a prerogative, man. There ain't nothing requiring him to give anything to anybody, Rayo included, because Rayo ain't giving him anything. And by the way, Rayo just fought at 135. So let's not act like his last fight before last was at 135. Okay? Gervonta went up and went down. He fought a tremendously oversized opponent and decided he didn't want to do it again. That's his prerogative, man. Just like it's Roy Jones Jr.'s prerogative to go to heavyweight and never come back. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.